This is a true story, a love letter from a young soldier to the girl he left behind. A story of hope, distance, and a promise kept. And now, I'd like to share this story with you. In 1967, the world was loud with war. The nightly news crackled with body counts. Radios hummed with protest songs. Draft cards burned in the streets, and young men boarded planes with one-way tickets to places they couldn't pronounce. But far from the noise, in a quiet town tucked between fields and sky, a different sound echoed. The scratch of a pen, the creak of a chair, the soft tear of an envelope, and the beating of a heart that refused to forget. This is not a story of generals or battles. It is the story of Bill and Nancy. He was 20, a small-town boy with big dreams, more familiar with tractor engines than M16s. She was 19, bright-eyed, hopeful, still carrying the softness of high school halls in her smile. They met at a church dance. She wore a yellow dress. He wore nervous laughter and 2 left feet. 3 months later, he was drafted. They promised to write every single day, not because it would be easy, but because it was all they had. In an age before cell phones, before emails, before video calls, there were letters, folded, inked, kissed, and prayed over, words that traveled farther than any bullet ever could. This is one of those letters. Bill wrote it from a small outpost near Da Nang. Monsoon rains had turned the dirt to rust. Nights were long, damp, and filled with sounds he hoped Nancy would never have to hear. But that night, under the dim glow of a flashlight and the weight of everything he couldn't say out loud, he began to write. He folded his fear between sentences, hid his heart between the lines, and somewhere between the ink and the silence, he left a piece of himself. This is not just a letter, it is a moment, a memory, a bridge between 2 people who refuse to let war define their love. So sit back, listen closely, because sometimes the quietest stories echo the loudest. My dearest Nancy, tonight the rain won't let up. It drums against a metal roof like it's trying to remind us we're still alive. I'm writing this by flashlight, propped up against my pack, just outside the perimeter. We finished patrol a few hours ago. Nothing happened, but everything feels heavier than usual. I keep thinking about the church dance, the way your hand fit into mine, and how I was too nervous to look you in the eyes. I would give anything to be back in that moment, just 5 more minutes, just one more song. The guys here, they try to act tough, but at night, when the sky goes quiet and the jungle breathes, I know they miss someone too. We all do. I carry your picture in my chest pocket. It's folded at the edges now, faded, but it still holds your smile, and that's more than enough. Nancy, I don't know how long I'll be here or what tomorrow brings, but I know this. I think about you every damn day. When I wake up, when I clean my rifle, when I eat, when I sleep. You're the calm in the middle of all this noise, the only part of this whole mess that makes sense. Tell your mom I said hello, and your dad too. And if your little brother still thinks I can beat him at checkers, remind him who's got the record, all right? You keep writing, Nancy. You don't know how much those letters matter. Sometimes I read them 3 or 4 times in one night. I read them until I can hear your voice. All my love, Bill. Back home, Nancy sat by the window, her hair pulled back. eyes always drifting toward the mailbox. The world moved on outside. Cars passed, leaves fell, neighbors waved. But her world moved in the space between letters. She kept his photo by her bedside, his letters in a small wooden box. Every word Bill wrote became a thread she clung to, weaving days into weeks. She'd whisper replies as she read, little laughs, soft sighs, imagined conversations. And sometimes, when the night was quiet enough, she wrote back, Bill, your letter arrived today. I read it twice before breakfast, then once more before dinner. Mama says I've memorized your handwriting better than my own. I hung your picture above my desk. I talk to it more than I probably should. Don't laugh. I know you're doing the same with mine. I miss you more than I thought I could miss anything. But I'm proud too. Proud that the man I love is doing something brave. Proud that you still find time to write, even when the world around you is falling apart. Come back to me. I'll be waiting. Days blurred into weeks. Patrols, rain, letters, silence, repeat. Some days, the mail didn't come. Some nights, it rained too hard to write. But the words never stopped living inside him. Nancy, today, a guy in my unit didn't come back. We don't talk about it much. You just see one less plate at dinner, one more bunk that stays made. We keep moving because if we stop to feel, it might break us. But I need to feel tonight. I need to tell you something. You are the reason I still believe in better days. You, with your handwriting that leans slightly to the right. With your silly jokes and the way you write, I miss you, like a promise. I fold your letters and keep them close. When it's loud, I read them. When it's quiet, I read them slower. Sometimes I wonder if you still smell like lilac, or if the radio still plays our song, or if, when I come home, we'll still fit. Your hand in mine, no nerves this time. More to come. Sometimes, when I lie awake at night, I picture the life we'll build. A small white house, a porch swing, a dog with a silly name. You in that yellow dress again, laughing at something I said just to make you roll your eyes. I don't need a parade or a medal. I just need that future with you. Some of the guys talk about what they'll do when this is all over. Some want to forget. Others want to remember. Me? I just want normal. I want to be the guy who goes to work, comes home, and kisses his wife on the forehead before dinner. You're my future, Nancy. Every word you send me is a light in this jungle. Every memory of you is a reason to keep going. So I make you this promise. No matter how long it takes, I'll come home to you. I'll walk off that plane, find you in the crowd, and I won't let go. Not ever. Until then, I'll keep writing, keep dreaming, keep loving you every day across every mile. Yours forever. Bill folded the letter slowly, his hand shaking just a little. He slipped it into an envelope, sealed it with a thumbprint of dirt, and handed it off to the mail runner like it was the most precious thing he owned. That night, under a starless sky, he whispered her name one last time before sleep took him. Across the ocean, Nancy opened the mailbox. The envelope was damp, smudged, but her name was still clear. She held it close, eyes closed, as if the warmth of his words could reach across the world and into her chest. Later that night, with a letter spread out on her bed and a candle flickering nearby, she read each line aloud, slowly, reverently, as if reciting a prayer. She cried when he promised. She smiled when he dreamed, and when she reached the end, she whispered back, "I believe you." Bill did come home. In 1968, after months of silence and letters soaked in both rain and hope, he stepped off a military transport plane and into Nancy's arms. Just like he promised. They married that summer, and for the next 50 years, they built the life they once dreamed about in ink, porch swing and all. Bill kept every letter Nancy wrote, wrapped in a ribbon, tucked in an old shoebox under their bed. Nancy framed the first letter he sent from Vietnam and hung it above her writing desk. Time passed. Hair grayed, hands wrinkled, but the words stayed young. Even now, long after the last letter was written, their story lives on. In memories, in mailboxes, in moments that remind us love is bigger than war, because sometimes all it takes is a pen, a piece of paper, and the courage to keep loving, even when the world is falling apart. Thank you for listening to this letter and this love. If it touched your heart, share it, because love, like stories, is meant to be passed on.